I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. It is Tuesday, so I'm here to critique one of your original paintings or drawings. If you have an original painting or drawing that you would like to submit for a critique, head over to my website, lachri.com/critiques. That link is below in the video description, and you can submit your work there. Today's submission comes from artist Travis Luther. You can view more of his work over on his Facebook page or here on YouTube. I'll have links to both of those below in the video description as well. His goal for this acrylic painting was to have fun. I love so much about this. It really makes you just want to keep looking. The detail in the bird nest, the movement with the birds, the addition of the bubbles, the color balance. This piece is just so pleasing to look at. Taking a look at a few things we can adjust on this to improve on it even more. First, let's look at the birds. Now with surrealism, yeah, you can get away with a lot of things and making them not look totally realistic, but what will make for an even stronger surreal piece is to make sure the portions of it that are realistic, put a little bit more time into making them look that much more realistic. If you can really master getting all of the feathers in there, the shading, the detail, the drawing, the outside line, while there's great movement here, they're not drawn totally accurate to how the birds would move or the size proportion. There's some things that are going on there. If you can perfect that even more, it's going to take this amazing design and just bump it up like 20 more levels, because this design really is genius. But if you take just that little bit more time, focus on making those birds look a lot more realistic. So let's say you spent 45 minutes on each bird. Instead of that, spend 3 or 4 hours on each bird. Spend a day on each bird. Just really perfect them, tighten up the details there, and it's just going to draw you in because you've got so much detail on the nests, but then the birds don't really match up with that quite as much. Onto the nests, they are amazing. I love the little blue squiggles that you've got coming down in between them. It just balances everything out so nice, makes it so interesting to look at. But then that area up at the top where the top bird is sitting on, I'm not sure what that is. Yes, it's surreal, so it's natural to have some questions where you're kind of like, I wonder what's going on there. But in this case, I can tell what everything else is in this painting, but I'm not sure what that is. Is it curving in? Is it curving out? It's really smooth. There's not a lot of detail. You've blended it beautifully. Your blending skills are amazing, but it doesn't seem to really fit as much with the rest of this. I'm wondering almost, is it a shell? If it's a shell, then make it look more obvious that it's a shell. If it's a bowl of water, make it more obvious that that's a bowl of water. Whatever that shape is, maybe your intent is just to have an abstract shape there, which is okay, but it's kind of confusing considering the rest of the painting has so much detail on it. It just doesn't fit in quite as well. The shape though, the size is perfect. Your balance, you have such a good eye for balance here. The positioning of everything you have absolutely mastered. It's just now coming back through and figuring out little detail things, little teeny things that you can tweak to make it that much stronger. But I would definitely spend some more time and figure out what that section is and make sure it's obvious to the viewer what that is. And it can be totally random. It's surrealism. If it is a bowl of water or a shell or could be a dinosaur, whatever you want it to be is fine. Just make it obvious to the viewer so it's not as confusing considering the rest of the piece is so detailed and so obvious as to what everything is. One last thing I want to bring up is the design here. The fact that the design is so strong makes the overall piece very strong. Kind of a fun thing to do if you're ever with friends at an art gallery, especially if it's a local art gallery where you have more amateur artists. I think it's easier to really see this. But watch what paintings your friends are drawn to. It's always a bit of an eye-opener because you'll see a piece that is super detailed, super realistic, and you're like, wow, I wish I had created that. But watch your friends be drawn to the piece over here, which is not as accurate, the drawing's not as good, the detail's not as good, but the contrast. There's so much contrast over here and they will go right there. More often than not, your design, your composition, your contrast, your values, those end up mattering more than how perfect your drawing is, how detailed everything is. So this piece here is such a good example of that because while the birds aren't super realistic, while I'm not sure what's going on with the top shape, the overall design, the concept, the movement in this piece makes me just want to keep looking at this. And that's a huge thing to be able to accomplish as an artist. So for all of you guys, really want to encourage you when you're painting things, think about those things because those things, sometimes we get so focused on the detail, on making things look as realistic as possible, but we kind of skip over the design. What makes it interesting? What is going to make people, when they're at that art gallery, just swarm to look at that painting? But again, Travis, you did a beautiful job here. If you guys want to go check out more of his work, I'll have the links below in the video description. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings, my own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday, art Q&A videos every Thursday, and artist vlogs each weekend. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+. All of those social media sites are linked below in the video description where you can keep up with news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I'm currently working on. I'll see you guys tomorrow.